little one. Oh. Okay, hello. So it's been a while since I've gone live. Looks much better. Gets the light. Anyways, it's been a while since I've gone live and talked about all the things, all the movies. So I figured I've watched a couple of things. So I figured I'll just talk about them in a quick little rundown. Let's start with the Raising Dion. It was a Netflix original based off. I think it was just like a short that came out online a while ago about a young black boy who has superpowers, and the Netflix show has Michael B. Jordan in it, so that's always worth seeing. Unfortunately, it was giving me CW vibes. It was not giving me Marvel vibes, and even with that, like Black Panther Marvel vibes, and I was just not into it. I think I watched maybe the first 5 episodes, I think, and then I was just like, because I wish I wasn't going to say this, but I am. The little boy got on my nerves. Like, his character, I don't know if it was the way his character was written or if it was just the direction they decided to take the acting. But gosh, he was very whiny and very just like, ugh. And I was like, I can't watch this. And the way I was just like, maybe again, this is a cultural thing, and perhaps I shouldn't say this, but I was like, I don't know any mothers of color who would let their children talk to them like this and act like this. So it was nice. It touched on things related to race. Fantastic. Playing a black man in America. Fantastic. Michael B. Jordan was great. He's always great. It was just, I don't know what they were doing with the little boy character. I was like, no, this is not good. And maybe this is what little boys are like. I don't know. I didn't have any brothers growing up. I don't have any little boys, so I am unfamiliar with the behaviors of little boys. So I could just be out of touch. But I wasn't feeling it, so I didn't watch a lot of it. And then I kind of juxtapose that against the Dragon Princess. That show, it's an animated show. The main king is black. His son, he has a stepson who appears to be a Caucasian white, and then he has a son that he had with the stepson's mother, his new wife, who is a mixed. That little boy, I don't know if it's acting, I don't know if it's the way they wrote it. That show is fantastic. That little boy is so like, and it's totally fiction. It is animated. It's a voiceover, so you're not getting the emotional pool that you get from being able to actually see the person's face play out the emotions. But the little boy in that show versus the one in Raising Dion, and I was watching it and I was like, yes, this is how like you write a good child. Like, this is a great character design for a child. Like, he was a prince. His dad ended up getting killed. He ended up missing his dad. He ended up having to run away and just only be with his brother. And yes, so it is fiction. So it's not and a like magical fiction world. So not just like a fiction in that it's set in our real world. So there's dragons and stuff and fairies. So obviously, but he was so empathetic and just like, and not to like, I could empathize with him, but like that he was empathizing with others, and like he was spoilers, of course, he could talk to animals, and so he had that relationship going on. And yes, he was impulsive, and yes, he wanted to just do things to do things, but I don't know, it just played out differently, and it was just so much more of a likable character. So I was honestly very disappointed with Raising Dion. I really wanted to watch it. I was really excited about it. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of buzz about it, and maybe this is why, or maybe there's more stuff going on behind the scenes that I just wasn't aware about that show. But yeah, so if you watch the rest of Raising Dion, let me know. Let me know what your thoughts were. Let me know if you liked it, and if you want them to try to get a season 2. I don't even know what happened at the end of it. And I really like the premise of the show because I love the mix of physics and chemistry and biology and mixing that in with the metaphysical. I love it. But I was just like, this is, ooh, I couldn't watch it. I couldn't listen to the whining anymore. Let's see, what else did I watch that I wanted to talk about? I saw the Gemini Man movie with Will Smith. I liked it, and I feel like I've talked about it before. I might have. I liked it. I've seen a lot of other reviews where people didn't like the way that it was filmed. Um, that it felt like a made for TV movie, which honestly, like it did. Like it did. It was. Um just because of the way that it was filmed. But I still enjoyed it. It was still entertaining. It was good until the end where they went into that whole like, it's Will Smith, jokey, jokey. And I was just like, oh no. I thought it was great having kind of like that, full CGI younger version of Will Smith, and just because y'all know how I feel about robots. I feel like all these other discussions are mute because it is the rise of the machine that we need to be worried about. So having them kind of, and he wasn't a robot, but having them kind of just bioengineer another version of you. I mean, it might as well be a robot, particularly when they had one that they were able to manipulate his emotional feelings and how he understood pain and things like that. Like, what are the things that make us human? What are the things that make us unique? What are the things that make us individuals? And is cloning ethical? And if it is it ethical for all living beings? Is it ethical when you're looking at animals, but you're not looking at people, the soul of a creature, all those things that like kind of fall into the same discussion header as robots or AI and humanity. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. I liked that they had some POV parts that were like playing on a video game. I thought that was fun. I just didn't really like that ending part. I was like, they could have left that, but it was predictable enough to be enjoyable, but not predictable enough where I was just like, I already know everything that's going to happen in here, so I don't really care anymore. And so I liked it. I thought that was a good one. Okay, so now I guess I'm trying to think if there was anything. I made a video about Maleficent. I did not see the new Terminator movie. I was in I was in Denver when the new Terminator movie came out, and I actually could have went and seen it. I was in downtown Denver. I could have walked. I was staying right by I think it's 15th or 12th Street Market, something like that. So I could have went to the movie theater that was there, but it was really cold. It was during their snowstorm, and I don't know. I like the Terminator movies. I even like what's the one that everyone doesn't like? The Terminator Genesis, maybe the last one that came out that really didn't make a lot of sense story wise, but it was entertaining at least. And I'm pretty sure that this one's going to be entertaining. If I see it, I'll see it when it comes out. Or if I have a lazy weekend, like a really lazy weekend, because I'm not gonna go see Doctor Sleep. I'm pretty like 100% sure of that, because I live alone and I need to be able to sleep at night. So I can't get scared. There's just something about it. Like, there's just something about the introduction of new characters that you see where it's not like you thought you were coming in and it was going to be the same characters. Like, I think what I'm missing is a true continuation of the story. So like, you have Linda Hamilton, you have Arnold Schwarzenegger, like you have these people coming back and reprising roles, and yet like you're introducing new people in, and not that that's bad. You can of course introduce new people, but from the introduction of new main characters that they're going to change the storyline in some way. And I'm not really feeling that. I don't really want to see that. I want to see a continuation of the stories. I feel the same way about the Alien series, and I'm glad that they're at least kind of keeping with some of the characters that they had with Prometheus and such. But like, I want to see a story that continues, and a reason why. Now I can talk about Attack on Titan. This actually ties in. A reason why is because I love the complexity of a story where you're sitting there and you're looking at things that happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and the vision of the scope of the story was so broad and so well thought out and planned that those 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, things that you thought were insignificant or you weren't paying attention to come back into play and had a influence on the storyline. And it's not that like they decided 10 years down the line to add that in there, but that it had been planned from the beginning. And that is something I'm seeing some folks who are like, Attack on Titan storyline is trash. And I totally can understand where they're coming from, because I will be honest, I stopped paying any attention to Attack on Titan for like the last 2 or 3 years, because it was just getting so convoluted, and there was just like, oh, there's this new world, and oh, there's all these new people, and we have the Asians, and they introduced the black character, probably, I don't know. Anyways, whatever. Like there was just so much going on, and I was just like, I'm here for the Titans and Eren, Armin, and Mikasa. Like, I want to know what happens with this group, and I want to know what happens with their expanded group that we've seen with Historia, with, Levi and Hanji. Like, that extended group, great. I want to hear about what's going on with them. But like, the expansion of the world was getting so big with such little kind of time, I guess, to really flesh out and to go into what's happening with them. And then to see kind of that story pick up in these final chapters has been really exciting. Like, because it was finally answering the questions that I had about where did the Titans come from? What happened with the original Ymir? What's going on? What's the next step? What's going to happen with Eren? What's gonna push this story into its final moments? Like, you're getting those answers and it's playing out. So I can understand definitely where people are coming from when they're saying that the story is not what it could be. But the ability to be able to create a story that goes years into the future and years into the making, and to tie all of that back and tie it together and be like things that you didn't even realize were significant actually were. And one of those things where I feel for years to come, people will be analyzing these panels and these chapters to see what they can catch and to see what was played out, and the ability to have so many people theorizing about what's going to happen next, or what does this mean, what does this stand for. That's genius. Like, that is genius level work, and I appreciate that as someone who loves stories. And that, I feel like, is what's missing, that continuity, that full narrative, that being able to tie everything together because you've thought of it cohesively, is what I feel like is missing from a lot of these sequels that are coming out with these stories. I understand where people are coming from when they say they're cash grabs, because it's like, where is this story going? You have before you movies that have already happened, movies that you want to make, movies that could possibly be made in the future, and you have these opportunities to reimagine them, to further them, to trash them, and just start anew, fresh. So I see that, and I hear that, and I feel that, but it's not translating in many of the movies that are being made today. That cohesive line of a story, of a narrative, is just not coming across. It really is seeming like it's something that happens at work sometimes, where the boss gets something that they have to turn in, and so then they pass it down, and they pass it down, and they pass it down, and it gets passed down to an intern, and now you have this intern who's very, very separated from, who's very far from the original, going in and filling in the blanks and trying to get this project turned in on time. And then even when it's passed back up to be reviewed, it doesn't have that integrity and that soul to it because of where it came from. And that is how a lot of these films feel. So I will watch the new Terminator at some later point. I am super excited to see what ends up happening in the last chapter of Attack on Titan. And I want to dig a little deeper into that because I am so glad that when we saw what happened with Ymir, that it wasn't just Eren going back in the past and being the devil and giving her the Titan abilities. Because I was like, I know that was a really popular theory, but I was like, that's so lame. Like, that's such lame storytelling. Like, it's so obvious. Like, why would you want to write that? Or why would you want that to be the story? I was like, I didn't know what was going to end up happening, but I was like, please do not let it be. Because, like, Eren going back and being so instrumental in things getting where they were with his father and with the people up until that time and the passing down of the Attack Titan and things playing out. Like, that was super interesting. That was great storytelling. But having him like literally go back all the way to the beginning and be the starting point for the Titans was just too much. Like, it would have killed everything. Like, there needed to be a point. There needed to be points. There needed to be story that did not include manipulation and intervention from Eren. There needed to be separation to really, like, because what's the whole importance of that statement? I was born into this world. It's like you're just gonna run everything and do everything that you want, like on your own. Like, that's not that's that's not entertaining, at least not for me. I wasn't here for it, and I was really glad that the story didn't play out that way. I was also devastated to read about Ymir, what was going on. It was like, this is the saddest thing in the world, like, and it just kept staying sad. Like, it never got, the cat just knocked over his water. What a mess. Um but it just stayed sad the entire time. Like, it never, her world never got any better. And even as she was in the past rebuilding the Titans, it was still her kind of by herself as a slave. And I was like, that's just a devastating thing. And I think that maybe that speaks a little bit to maybe the differences in the choices that are made, whether it's self-destruction or whether it's destruction of others, and that Ymir was always alone, trying to find connection. And like, Eren has this inherent connection that he's had with Mikasa and Armin, and how is that shaping them in a different way, even though they're both slaves to this society and this world that they have been born into? And how can you change that? How does that shift? So good. So the last one, 123, is out. Well, okay, it's not officially out, but the the leaks are out. And I am totally Eren Mikasa. I don't care. I want them to be in game. I'm here for it. I've said that before. And if not, then I'm like, well, maybe Armin and Mikasa are in game, which I really don't see happening. I really don't want Eren to be Historia's baby daddy. I'm sorry, I don't. I think that's another lame, like, ending, like another lame way of going about things, but maybe it would make a little bit more sense since Mikasa is messing things up. And I was like, girl, what are you doing? Because Eren asked her, how do you feel about me? And this girl is like, your family. And I was just like, you dumb girl. This was your chance. This was your moment to be like, I love you. Okay, maybe she didn't need to say that. She could say, I care about you deeply. I really, I'm happy to have you in my life. You're very special to me. Like, she could have even said, like, all the code words that mean I love you, that mean I like you as more than just a friend. Like, she could have done all of that without actually saying it. And that would have been a better answer than your family. I was like, lame, stupid, like, stupid girl, what are you doing? And then Now she's all in, their current time frame. Like, yeah, would things have been different? Well, girl, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you effed up. You effed up. That was your chance. Maybe you'll get another one in this, new world or whatever's going on. But I doubt it. And you messed up. And so I am very frustrated with her. And I'm just like, oh, he said, we're not going to take that route. And he meant it. And what he did tell us, it was that, oh, yeah, it's not going to be Aaron. It's going to be Mikasa who's going to mess it up. And I was just like, girl, you could have been with Aaron. You could have been with the Attack Titan. You could have been with the one running around stepping on people. Like, that could have been you, girl. No, we all saw you with your lust eyes when you first saw him as the Attack Titan. We all know what's going on, Mikasa. So why, when it comes down to it, would you not say something? And I was just like, oh, the lack of growth. Grow up, so that you people can get it together. But it's fine. So it's fine. So I don't know. I guess now, in thinking about what's going to possibly happen in the next one, which I'm thinking might be the last one. I heard that he didn't want to keep this thing going on too much longer. So 124 might be it. December 2020. So I don't know. We'll see. There might be more after that, but this might be it. I don't know. Maybe he's just going to run them all down and be like, let's start again. New world, new life. I don't know. I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think we're going to see Aaron again. Maybe we will. Maybe he's the one at the end holding the baby. Jesus, don't let him be the baby daddy. Oh. I wanted to be someone interesting. Like, I wanted to be someone like we would never suspect. No one was thinking. Like, I wanted to be like secretly they had Aaron's. Is it Erwin? Erwin's like sperm somewhere, and they like injected her with it or something. I don't know. I don't want it to be Armin or Aaron. It could be Armin. Oh, and also there's this weird thing I keep seeing where everybody wants to know like where Annie is, and they want like Annie to come back out of her crystallized state. I don't care about Annie. I don't get that. I don't know where that's coming from. So if you are someone who is like, I want Annie to come back, let me know so I can and maybe say why. Because I'm like, I don't care about her. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. What am I missing? What am I missing that everyone else is seeing? Because I don't care about her at all. Like, at all. I'm like, girl, stay in that crystal. Who cares? Girl, you're doing better than the rest of us out here suffering through this foolishness with that impulsive kind of nutty Aaron and old Armin. Aaron, no. I can't. Okay, I need to stop talking about this show. Okay, predictions. 124. I don't know. They've got that big one, which is obviously he has a design that seems more like Ymir's original design when she became a Titan, with all the ribs being out. But there's a whole bunch of them. But maybe it's like when there was a little, I don't know, creature parasite thing. Maybe it's to look more like that with that whole like tree branchy thing going on. I don't know if that is something that's going to actually be able to stand up. They were like, it looks like a dinosaur. And I was like, that's weird. If it goes the dinosaur route, that's that whole like Transformers, what is it, The Last Night or whatever, or maybe it was the one before that. Weird. I don't like that. So I guess maybe that'll get up and it'll squash people. Maybe he's just gonna give it to everybody. But yeah, definitely the Titans are out of the walls and they're marching somewhere. And he's like, hey, I got you guys. Eldians, you're good. Don't worry. No worries. Got you. It's me, Aaron, in your head. And I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. And he looks all angry. He's all mad. And I'm just like, oh, who knows? Maybe Mikasa will try it again. Because she has been a catalyst for all his times when he's had these moments. When he first became the Attack Titan. Was he Attack Titan then? Yeah, he was. When he first came the Attack Titan, he jumped up while she was getting beat up out there in them streets. And then when they were having that battle somewhere out there for some reason, and she was talking about having that nasty scarf around her neck, and she was like, oh, you wrapped this scarf around me. And I was just like, oh, okay, girl, yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about. You about to get squashed, y'all about to get eaten, and you're gonna be like, thank you for wrapping this scarf around me. But I mean, it worked. So that's all that matters. It worked. It worked. It got him to like get up and do something. So she's been a catalyst for these things. So maybe there's still time for her to be like, yo, Aaron, what are you doing? Don't kill everybody. But I don't know. Do I care so much whether or not he annihilates everybody other than the Eldians? I don't know if I do, because man, those people are raggedy. In the manga, man, all those people who are the Marley people, I suppose. They were so mean to that poor little boy who was still okay. Yes, he stole, but still, it was probably because he was hungry. Probably because they, scuttled them off to be the rejected folks in society, and they were just like they acted. This was the thing. I was like, oh, good job, good job, good job, because those people acted the exact same way that they acted with Ymir when she was a slave and they were just looking to punish one of the Eldian people. I was like, oh, the parallels, fantastic, fantastic, because they treated her exactly the same way. And the thing that I thought was really interesting was that I was like, but things are different, because you had Levi, and I'm curious about like this role that Levi plays, because you have Levi, who is this person who's very strict, who was in a very similar situation to the little boy that was pickpocketing, who like has gone through this experience and come to this other side where it's like when you see people being persecuted, you understand the reason why they're doing the things they're doing, and you don't want them to be judged and punished in the same way. So like he stood up for him and like carried him off so that they were like, let's make an example of him, cut off his hand, hang him in the hall so people can see him. And I'm just like, how is that? Like, how is someone stealing? Like how is that your response to someone stealing? Like this violence that is going on with these people? Like I hear the folks when they're like, Aaron is crazy. He is. And yet, like, there's something wrong with these people who are out there in these streets, like these Marleyan people, these people in different societies. Like, there is something wrong with them. Like, there are, like, their responses to things are abnormal. And that doesn't seem to really be getting addressed. Like, it is not normal to be like, cut off their hand. Like, it is not normal to be like, hang them as an example. Like, no, 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 no. Like, it's okay to tell people like don't do that. Like that's what Levi did, and they ended up going to get drunk with them later. So like there's there's some issues, like some really deep issues, and like y'all can send Aaron to get some therapy, but can you send a society to get some therapy? I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know if they're gonna listen. I don't know if they care. So I don't know. Let's see. Aaron's gonna be on his little. All right, I don't know. Is that Aaron? It's not Ymir. So I don't know. Everyone's kind of there. Everyone's all connected. I don't know what's gonna end up happening. I don't know if maybe he's just gonna change everyone's memories, or if he's gonna just run everybody down and be like, "There we go, start over, live your lives how you want to." I really don't have a prediction. I do want to see Ymir not be stuck in the past. I do want to see some type of further interaction between Mikasa. Don't mess up, girl. This is one of your final chances. Don't mess it up. I want to see her be redeemed. I guess Armin can, I don't know, he can talk, I guess. I want to see Levi. I want to see Hanji. Where are they? What's going on? I want them to be safe and okay. And I just want to see who's in that final panel. So that's it. That's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on the things that I've seen. I'm going to stop now because I'm going to make a video about Midsommar because I watched that and I want to talk about it because I have things to express. So I'll see you later. Bye bye.